The instant you begin to explain, you've already surrendered something that cannot be reclaimed in that moment: authority. Imagine a sharp sentence landing across a dinner table, a subtle jab in a meeting, a partner twisting your words into something ugly. Your chest tightens, thoughts race. Your first impulse is to fix it, to justify, to clarify, to prove the truth. You think if you can only make them see, the damage will fade. But that reflex hands the room to someone else. When you explain, you submit to the terms of the exchange. You step into the shape they made and start arguing on their stage. Most people assume arguments are contests of fact. They assume truth will win if stated clearly enough. That's a comforting fiction. Social battles are, almost always, contests of framing. The person who controls the frame, who decides what the dispute is about, controls the outcome. Your explanation is not evidence of clarity. It is evidence of investment. It tells everyone watching that their accusation matters enough to you to require a response. That signal is a gift. It hands the attacker a microphone and an audience. If you want to stop being at the mercy of other people's narratives, you have to learn to refuse the stage. There are a handful of ways to do this. Not theatrical tricks, but practiced stances. They work because they change the grammar of the encounter. Silence becomes a tactic rather than a paralysis. Questions become instruments that force specificity. Agreement, handled well, kills momentum. Humor can turn aggression into absurdity. Boundaries remove the reward that drives the attack in the first place. None of these is about cruelty. They are about preserving your composure and your sovereignty. The reason we default to defense is ancient and mundane. Think back to childhood. Accused by a parent or a teacher, you learned quickly that explanation often buys mercy. I didn't do it. It fell. He started it. These were survival strategies. They were effective when authority figures held the power. We never grew out of the habit of pleading to being seen as acceptable. That reflex persists in boardrooms and bedrooms. It is embedded in our nervous systems. When someone accuses us as adults, a part of our brain replays that childhood tape. Explain, justify, repent. The problem is that adult social arenas are rarely courts of adjudication. They are fields of influence, status, and perception. The instinct to explain is an evolutionary misfire. So what do you do when someone attacks? The first, simplest tool is silence. Not awkward silence that betrays panic, but slow, intentional quiet. Look at the person, breathe. Hold your face soft and still. Let 3 to 5 seconds pass without filling the space. That pause is a psychological vacuum. It makes the accuser uncomfortable. It exposes their uncertainty, and it often obliges them to continue in a way that reveals their weakness. People fear unresolved tension. They will often scramble to justify themselves or collapse into something less certain. You don't have to speak to win. The silence does work for you. When you do speak, choose words that refuse the premise rather than fight it directly. If someone says, "You're selfish," you don't launch into a list of favors you've done. You might ask a precise question. When did I act selfishly? Or, which action are you referring to? Asking a question forces specificity. Vague accusations thrive on ambiguity. Once they are forced to pin something down, they either produce evidence or reveal they had none. Questions shift the burden back onto the accuser and make them scramble for coherence. There is another move that looks counterintuitive, but is ruthlessly effective. Agreement used as deflection, not a groveling admission, but a tight, limited concession followed by a pivot. If a colleague says, "You messed up the deck," you can answer, "You're right about that slide, I'll fix it." What's most important now is getting the client on our side. Notice what you did. You admitted the fact without surrendering your identity. You addressed the issue without accepting a character judgment. Agreement robs the accusation of energy because it denies the attacker the reaction they wanted. When they expect fight and you hand calm, they often look foolish. Taken a step further, you can use humor, a dry, unemotional amusement that signals you are not threatened. If someone tries to rile you with a label, exaggerate it to absurdity with a flat delivery. Oh, absolutely. I only eat caviar while riding helicopters to meetings. Say it with a half smile and keep your voice steady. The joke converts venom into absurdity and tells the room you are unshakable. This amused mastery posture is magnetic because it communicates that you are whole. You do not require approval to stand in your truth. There is a conversational aikido you should learn. Answer a charge by interrogating the motive behind it. If someone snaps, "You're always late," you reply. "What about my arrival time irritates you so much?" Now the conversation is about their experience, not your alleged crime. You have redirected the narrative, and the discussion moves off your defense onto their reasons. People who attack for status are enraged when you refuse to play the game. By naming the pattern, you put them on notice. Their tactic is visible when you need to neutralize a public attack without escalation. Name the pattern as an observation rather than a judgment. I notice this topic comes up whenever promotions are discussed. Is there an underlying concern you haven't said? That phrasing doesn't accuse. It calls for clarity and invites accountability without moralizing. It deflates dramatic tone and forces the attacker into practical territory. Either they explain productively or they expose themselves as attention-seeking. Boundaries are the ultimate enforcement. People keep doing what works. If public humiliation scores them social points, a calm consequence removes the reward. You don't need to threaten. You need to withdraw presence or privilege. If this continues, I'll leave the meeting. Or, I won't engage with conversations that aim to shame. Stating a consequence calmly demonstrates that you are in control of your participation. Take away the audience, and the tactic loses value. There is also power in a specific kind of agreement called fogging. It's not surrender, it's absorption without drama. If someone calls you careless, a fogging response might be, "Possibly. I missed that detail and I'll correct it." You accept the fact without shrinking to the insult. Fogging steals the sharp edge off the attack because you refuse the identity they'd pin on you. Secure people can own mistakes and move forward. Insecure people fight to protect a fragile self-image. Your calm ownership turns hysteria into irrelevance. None of this is theatrical if your body betrays you. The words are only a fraction of the effect. Posture, breath, eye contact, and tone are the rest. You must cultivate an interior state that matches your outer composure. Practice holding silence until it feels ordinary. Practice the fogging line until it sounds flat and untroubled, not defensive. Record yourself in mock scenarios and watch for tremors in voice or flinches in expression. The techniques collapse if your nonverbal frame screams for approval. This work also requires a brutal honesty with yourself. Attacks hurt because they touch an unhealed place. If someone calls you lazy and you flinch, it's because part of you suspects they might be naming truth. The ultimate invulnerability isn't a clever patter, it's integration. When you have accepted your flaws, not as labels that define you, but as features of a whole person you understand, there is nothing left for others to pluck. Someone can call you selfish, and you can answer, "Sometimes." And that answer dismantles the accusation because it demonstrates ownership, not denial. There's a meta shift that changes the architecture of interaction. Refuse to be the defendant. Become the observer. When asked, "Who do you think you are?" answer with curiosity toward the asker. What makes you need that label to feel safer? That move flips the dynamics. You stop fighting about your behavior and begin cataloging theirs. Dominant manipulators lose their footing when their tactics become visible. They were trying to force you into a predictable reaction. By stepping outside that pattern, you make them awkward and exposed. Practice is non-negotiable. Treat the first week as a laboratory. For 7 days, run a strict experiment. No explanations, no excuses, no defenses. If you're late, say simply, "I'm late." If you spill coffee, say, "I spilled coffee." If someone misreads your meaning, don't correct them. Sit with the discomfort of being misunderstood. Notice how often people try to pin you because it has historically worked. Notice how quickly that power erodes when you stop providing it. A few mistakes will undo this faster than anything else. Don't over-explain. That's the classic trap. Don't be sarcastic in a way that escalates. Sarcasm can look like passive aggression and feed the fire. Don't offer an apology with the intent to win favor if you don't mean it. Hollow apologies are simply more ammunition, and never use these tactics to harm. They are tools of preservation and clarity, not weapons for cruelty. If your goal is to dominate or manipulate people unjustly, you've already strayed from what we're doing here. To sharpen these skills, practice specific drills. Time silence. Place a friend in a mock accusation and hold still for 6 seconds before responding. Drill fogging. Repeat simple ownership lines until they feel untroubled. Rehearse the agree and amplify in the mirror until the humor is effortless. Work on posture. Steady breath, relaxed jaw, steady eyes. Nonverbal steadiness is the scaffolding of every verbal move. Ultimately, these methods work because human interaction is less about truth and more about status. When you defend, you place yourself on the back foot. When you refuse, you either preserve or elevate your status. A person who knows themselves, who has looked into their own capacity for error and accepted it, cannot be shamed because there is nothing left to reveal. You become transparent. Judgments pass through like wind. So here's a simple challenge. For 1 week, perform no defense. Replace explanations with brief statements, questions, or silence. When someone accuses, choose one of these 3. A neutral acknowledgement, a redirecting question, or deliberate quiet. Observe what happens. People will be confused at first, then curious, then often respectful. You will reclaim time, attention, and the energy you used to spend polishing your image for others. If this resonates, if you're tired of shrinking and ready to stand without seeking permission, practice these moves until they live in your muscle, not just your head. Train the silence, practice the fog, hold the boundary, and refuse the defendant's chair. The world will keep trying to bait you. Don't give it what it seeks. Keep your composure, keep your mystery, and most importantly, keep your power.